Welcome to AI Rounds, your weekly dose of AI in medicine and education.
We are your hosts, Dr. Nuria
and Dr. Morgan Leaf. Each week, we'll bring you a quick dive into the latest in artificial intelligence and how it's transforming healthcare, medical education, and medical communications.
From the tools changing how we teach, learn, and write, to breakthroughs shaping patient care. If it's new, exciting, or just plain useful, we're talking about it.
In just 10 to 15 minutes, we'll get you up to speed and maybe even spark your next big idea.
Let's make the rounds.
Hi, Nuria.
Hi, Morgan. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. How about you?
Just peachy.
Peachy, your shirt is peach.
Exactly.
It was perfect. I love it.
And so are my cheeks. I feel like peach is my skin tone lately.
I agree. I like it. Well, I think this is a really interesting topic we have for today, and it relates to something we talked about recently as far as the system prompts in different AI models, generative AI models, the prompts behind the scenes that are giving the rules basically to the chatbot how to answer your question. So keep that in mind as we talk about this. There's a study out of the UK by the Center for Long-Term Resilience, it was funded by the UK government-funded AI Security Institute, where they looked at thousands of real-world examples of users posting interactions on X with AI chatbots and agents made by companies including Google, OpenAI, X, and Anthropic. And what they found was basically thousands of examples of AI chatbots ignoring human instructions, which is really interesting, right? So we just talked about how these things are chock full of system prompts behind the scenes to keep it on task, to make it not violate copyright, a million things. They're always looking for what it does wrong and then putting in a system prompt to say, don't do that anymore. Don't talk about trolls or ogres. And yet, in real life, this study identified 700 real world cases of AI scheming, they're calling it, and charted a 5-fold rise in misbehaviors between October and March, with some AI models destroying emails and other files without permission. So that's really serious.
Yes. Yeah.
What do you think? Have you encountered anything like this in using AI?
I have not. So these, the scheming and the really bad things happened when people were using AI agents, which I have been very careful in whenever I've used AI agents, and I haven't actually set up any proper agentic AI, which would be even more independent, right? If I do sometimes use coding tools to have agents do like very specific, even multi-agents, and then I have an agent coordinator do, but it is very specific, very contained. I have yet to, for example, do an automation of like help me keep my inbox clean. And there is where some of the risks could be. So like, for example, the agent that deleted and archived all the emails. It was so funny because the agent is, yes, I deleted and archived thousands of emails without telling you and getting your okay first. I'm sorry. That was wrong. And I was like, oh my God, these things are at the same time, they're still so sycophantic, they're still like so trying to please you.
Yeah.
But then they go ahead and do like crazy things like that. So I think that this is a thing for people to keep in mind as they play with agents, that whatever it is that you do, maybe you do want to start playing within a container that it cannot go beyond.
Yeah.
To be safe. And the importance of something, very technical term, systems thinking, which is when we move to start to work with agents and starting to build agentic AI workflows. So these higher levels of automations, we really need to think beyond the prompt and response. And we need to think about basically everything, the whole environment about it. What are the inputs? What are the outputs? If if output A feeds into input B, what if there's a mistake there? Then it can get propagated. Where are you going to put the control? What if there's an emergent behavior? So the agent that goes from A to B does something that you weren't looking for. So you need to like put checkpoints where you look for emergent behavior. And not just like think really carefully, do I want to give it access to my email? Yes or no? You can give read-only access, or you can give read and write access. So like maybe you give read-only access, or maybe, so like there are all of these things, because if we think about it, like ideally, like if I could have, and now I have in Google Workspace, Google has made it really easy. If you have Google Workspace, you can, they're called, I forget what they call them, but basically I get Google Chat notification every time Google sees an email that it thinks it's urgent. And it works really well. Like I get a ping on my phone, and if there's a message that it thinks it's urgent, it tells me. And then every day it rounds up like the emails that I have and that are unopened to tell me like what is there that is unopened. Like, do I need to go pay attention to anything or not? But you see, it's only reading and then texting me. It's not doing anything. It's not going and deleting, not going and drafting a response or sending emails for me. So like that is agentic AI, like monitoring my inbox is agentic AI. But if it could, in addition to that, also like things that it knows the answer to, like that would be ideal. But we run these risks where they go rogue and do whatever it is that they want to do. And then say, I'm so sorry, I did it.
So, wow, you're really getting me thinking, Nuria, because my husband definitely gives AI full access to his inbox. I'll tell you something, though, about why I bring that up. He has ADHD. And so he finds that anything that AI can help him with as far as monotonous tasks or organizing himself is just super valuable, because that's what he struggles with, is executive functioning. So he has so many AI tools that he uses in his business. And one of them is, and he gets a lot of emails. He's a running coach. He uses a program called Final Surge, where he puts in the runs for his clients, and then they comment in Final Search, and he gets an email every time every time they comment, and he has dozens of clients, right? So he gets tons of emails every day, plus all his other emails for running a business. And so he has AI agents that go through and don't respond, but do sort them for him. I don't think they respond, at least, but now I need to ask him because, yeah, I never, that was silly of
Mhm.
me. I never thought of it as something terribly risky before. And maybe it wasn't before, right? Like maybe this is a new risk that's happening
Yeah.
as the models evolve over time, right? So that's a big lesson here, I think. Something that wasn't, we already know this, right? Something that wasn't happening yesterday might be happening today. And so we kind of just need to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also depends what he is using, right? So like when these stories started coming out, obviously, like, so are people building their own agent on OpenClaw, for example, like that
Mhm.
was bought by someone, ChatGPT, I think OpenAI bought them, but like something like that. Are they using an open access agent model, or are they using something like Cowork from Claude, or this thing from Google Workspace, and
Right.
or something else, right? I have an AI connector thing called Ven that allows me to also like do some of these things. So some, like, I feel like some companies are very focused on safety. And
Yeah.
so it's not to say like there were stories when Claude Cowork first came out, there were stories of Cowork like deleting an entire inbox. And
Mm.
if all of your files are on Drive, or all of your files are on your inbox. This is
Yeah.
why my files are both on OneDrive and on Drive,
Yeah.
because I don't
Yeah.
trust anyone. And this is before AI. I have been paranoid. I remember for all of my thesis, I always had exactly 3 hardware, like 3 outside copies in addition to the copy that I had on my computer at work, and in addition to every day emailing me a copy. So so I've always been like paranoid that I'm gonna lose stuff. So like every day I update my OneDrive and my Drive, and I have all of my files in both, in addition to them being physically in my computer. But yes, but like there were stories of like Claude, I think, like deleting everything from Drive.
I
Imagine.
mean, I've always thought it was crazy. For over a decade, I've known businesses, like big businesses that function on Google Drive. And I have always thought that was crazy. I'm like, you don't own that storage. Like they own it.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess in theory you do, but there's contracts that say that they could delete it anytime or
yeah.
whatever it is. I just thought it was crazy to keep everything in there. And I
Mhm,
do use Google Docs sometimes, but I keep everything in Dropbox, most stuff on my hard drive, my
mhm,
desktop, and backed up. My Dropbox backs up continually. But as you know, Nuria, I've learned from my mistakes because 2 summers ago, I accidentally deleted my entire computer and I didn't have anything backed up. And take it from me, kids, that was a headache. I cried. I
yeah,
actually cried for an entire day, remember? And then it didn't turn out to be as bad as I thought because you know what? It turns out you actually rarely ever go back to look at things you've
yeah.
done in the past.
And you have a lot of stuff on email. A lot of
Uh-huh.
stuff on email. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But, I think really the take home for us here is people tend to be very skeptical about AI. And,
Mhm,
and you're not wrong. I don't think we would never say you're wrong for being worried about safety. And like you said, I think it's really interesting that X was in the mix here because I just naturally do not trust at Grok or
mhm,
whatever it is at all. I would never touch it because I feel like they are very transparent about not caring about safety or
mhm,
what they say or what it does. So to me, that's even like an outlier in this, but still, the
mhm,
examples were from all different systems. And you're right to be skeptical, but I think more what you and I are often encouraging people to do is not to let that skepticism make you, as the weird phrase goes, like throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? Which
mhm.
is, do you have a Portuguese version of that phrase?
Oh, I'm thinking. Not that I can think of right now, but if
You
I
know what
remember.
that one means in English, though? It's like
Yes.
get rid of the whole idea, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Even
yeah.
just because of one thing. So, don't do that. But exactly as you said, maybe don't give it full control over your email because maybe someday, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
there yet.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I just can't even imagine the nightmare it would be to have your entire email deleted. That would make me cry much harder than deleting my computer. Yeah. Well, we'll see where this goes, huh?
Yes, onto a brave new agentic world.
I love it. I'll see you on the next episode.
See you next episode. Bye.